Good morning, students. Welcome again here in this video. So, students, today I am going to explain chapter number 10 from your civics book, Social and Political Life Struggles for Equality. Which chapter? Struggles for Equality. You know, this chapter is a kind of summary. Okay, beta. This chapter is a kind of summary for all the chapters that we have been doing so far. As you all of you know that in this book, in our civics book of class 7, we have read about people like Kanta, the Ansaris, Milani and Swapna. The thread that connects all of these lives is that they have been treated unequally. What do people do when they face such inequalities? History is a full of examples of persons who have come together to fight against inequality and for issues of justice. Beta, do you recall the story of Rosa Parks in chapter 7? Yes, in chapter 7, we have already learned about Rosa Parks' story. Do you remember the photo essay of the women's movement in chapter 5? Yes, in chapter 5, women changed the world. You know, we have already learned about photo essay on the women's movement in that chapter. So, beta, in this chapter, in chapter 10, we will learn about some of the ways in which people have struggled against inequality. So that's why I'm saying like this. This chapter is a kind of summary for all the chapters that we have been doing so far. The Indian Constitution recognizes all Indians as equal before the law and state that no person can be discriminated against because of their religion, gender, caste, or whether they are rich or poor. So, beta, it doesn't matter that people of any state cannot be discriminated against because of their religion. It doesn't matter which religion, which gender. Religion means Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Christianity, and religion. Sex, gender, it means male, female, caste, upper caste, lower caste, and about rich and poor. So, Indian Constitution recognizes all Indians as equal before the law and states. Okay, then all adults in India have the equal right. Yes, as all of you know that above 18 years. Yes, so all adults in India have the equal right to vote. They can vote. Above 18 year people, above 18-year person, they can vote and they have the equal right during the elections. जब आपके elections होते हैं, okay, then आपके जो adult है वो क्या करते हैं? Vote करते हैं. So you can say that power over the ballot box. Which power? Power over the ballot box. So why? Because all adults have the equal right to vote during elections. So you can say that power over the ballot box has been used by people to elect or replace their representative. It means all adults can choose their leaders also, they can replace also. If they are not satisfied with their work, their leaders work, they can do again vote. They can you can say that कि वो इसके लिए अपने leaders को भी change कर सकते हैं अगर वो उनके work से satisfied नहीं है. But this feeling of equality that the ballot box provide this feeling of equality that we have equal because the vote of one person is as good as that of another does not extend the most people lives, but तब भी कुछ लोगों की लाइफ जो है तब भी inequality में ही spend हो रही है. As you have already read, the increasing privatization of health services and the neglect of government hospitals. Yes, neglect of which hospitals? Government hospitals, and increasing which type of health services? Private health services. So have made it difficult for most poor people like Kanta, Hakim Sheikh, and Aman to get good quality healthcare because they are not able, beta, because they are poor, so they are not able to go to where in private health services. So in government health services they have to go because they are poor. So these people do not have the resources. Yes, they do not have the resources because they are poor to afford expensive private health services. As you all of you know that nowadays private health services are so costly as compared to government health services, and more facilities also available over there in private health services, but poor people can't afford expensive private health services. Similarly, the men who sell juice do not have the resources to compete with all the major companies who sell branded drinks through expensive advertising. As you all of you know that some branded fruit some branded drinks also available in the market which are selling their product through expensive advertising in media. So the मैन हु सेल जूस, जो एक मैन जूस सेल करता है, क्या वो compete कर सकता है उन मेजर कंपनीज के साथ जो अपने ड्रिंक्स को सेल कर रही है एक्सपेंसिव एडवर्टाइजिंग में? Same as Sapna does not have sufficient resource. One girl also, Sapna, she does not have sufficient resources to grow cotton and so has to take a loan. So उसने क्या करा, loan लिया from the trader to grow her crops. The forces her to sell her cotton at lower price. शी हैज टेकन लोन. सो उस कंपनी का जो ट्रेडर था उसने किस लिए उसे फोर्स किया कि दैट वो उसे ही कॉटन को सेल करेगी लोअर प्राइस में. Melanie likes the millions of domestic workers across the country is forced to endure the insults and hardship of working as a domestic help because she has no resources to set up something on her own. Same as Melanie, like the millions of domestic workers across the country. Yes, in our country, so many millions of domestic workers are just like Melanie because so they are insulting and hardship working as a domestic help. Why? Because she has no resources. Yes, they have no any resources to set up something on her own. So that's why poverty and lack of resources continue to be a key reason why so many people lives in India are highly equal. So that's why rich and poor, yes, highly unequal. One thing, poverty. It means rich people और rich हो रहे हैं, poor people और poor हो रहे हैं, and lack of resources also. So which is two things, poverty and lack of resources continue a key reason why so many people lives in India are highly unequal. Poverty and lack of dignity and respect for certain communities and groups come together in such powerful ways that it is difficult to identify where one aspect of inequality ends and other begins. Yes, we can't say that where one aspect of inequality ends and other begins. Because of why? Because of poverty and lack of dignity and respect for certain communities. As you have already read, Dalit, Adivasi, and Muslim girls drop out of the school in large numbers. Yes, during their studies, Dalit, Adivasi, and Muslim girls drop out of school in large numbers. This is a combined outcome of poverty, social discrimination, and the lack of good quality school facilities for these communities. So, which one? Combined outcome? Yes, poverty, social discrimination, and the lack of good quality school facilities for these communities. Now, student, let's come here. Our next topic is struggles for equality throughout the world. Not only in our country, India, you can say that throughout the world, in every community, village, city, and town, you will find that there are some people who are known and respected because of their fight for equality. inequality. Okay, known people and respected people, you can say that, all over the world, who what who will find that there are some people, we can easily find these kinds of people which are known and respected because of their fight for equality. काफ़ी ऐसे लोग हैं, हमें मिल जाएंगे इजली, जो काफ़ी जाने जाते हैं और जिनकी क्या रिस्पेक्ट की जाती है, क्योंकि उन्होंने क्या किया है, फाइट फॉर इक्वालिटी। इक्वालिटी के लिए उन्होंने फाइट किया है, इक्वालिटी के लिए उन्होंने स्ट्रगल किया है। यू कैन से दैट स्ट्रगल किया है फॉर व्हाट, स्ट्रगल फॉर इक्वालिटी। उन्होंने इन इक्वालिटी को एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया, सो उन्होंने इन इक्वालिटी के अगेंस्ट क्या करी, फाइट करी, मूवमेंट स्टार्ट करी। These people may have stood up against an act of discrimination that they faced or which they witnessed. If they faced or they witnessed any kind of discrimination, so these people may have stood up against these kind of discrimination, and any faced or which they have witnessed any discrimination and any inequality, or they may be well respected because they treat all persons with dignity and are therefore trusted and called upon to resolve issues in the community. In our community, many issues also are coming. काफ़ी इश्यूज आते हैं हमारी कम्युनिटी में, सो इन लोगों ने, इन पर्सन ने विद डिग्निटी उनको सॉल्व करा और ट्रस्ट करके उसके बिल्कुल इन इक्वालिटी के खिलाफ अगेंस्ट उन्होंने मूवमेंट स्टार्ट किए। Same, some of these persons become more widely recognized because they have the support or represent large number of people who have united to address a particular issue of inequality. Any particular issue of inequality, these persons become more widely recognized. Because why? Because they have support. Yes, because they have support or represent large number of people. In India, there are several struggles in which people have come together to fight for issues that they believe are important. Yes, in India, so many several struggles also in which people have come together to fight for those issues. You have already learned about the method used by women's struggle. Okay, have you? Yes. Do you remember, beta? In chapter 5, we have already learned about the method, some method used by the women's movement. Yes, that chapter, in that chapter number 5, women's change the world. The Tawa Matsya Sangh, which sung the Tawa Matsya Sangh in Madhya Pradesh, where in Madhya Pradesh, and which sung the Tawa Matsya Sangh is another example of people coming together to fight for an issue. Yes, to fight against inequality. In Madhya Pradesh, which sung the Tawa Matsya Sangh. Yes, it is another example of people coming together to fight for an issue. Yes, fight for issue of inequality. Okay, there are many such struggles, such as those among BD workers, fisher folk, agriculture laborers, slum dwellers, and each group is struggling for justice in its own way. Yes, many struggles among to whom? Among BD workers, fisher folk, agriculture laborers, slum dwellers, and each group, every group is struggling for justice in its own way. There are also many attempts to form cooperatives or other collective ways by which can have more control over resources. So, beta, you can say that. So, there are also many attempts also to form cooperatives. Okay, on other collective ways by which people have more control over resources. Student, one more thing also. Can you think of one person in your family, community, village, town, or city? Yes, this is an activity also. So you have to do this activity also. Okay, just think one of person in your family, community, village, town, or city whom you respect because of their fight for equality and justice, and write at least 10 lines, okay, about them. So, student, for today, that's it. This is your part one. In part two, we will continue this chapter in our next video. So, thank you all of you. Have a nice day ahead.